You're listening to the Geekly Chronicles, Series 5, Episode 9.
Thanks for listening back to the Geekly Chronicles.
This show was recorded on the 20th of January, 2017.
This version of the show isn't quite the same as the one that went out live, as we've had to edit out all of the songs.
It's nothing personal. We're just big fans of making sure artists get paid for the great things they create.
If you want to listen back to the show in its full musical glory, head over to our Mixcloud channel, where you'll find every episode of the Geekly Chronicles as it was meant to be heard.
Ooh. That's mixcloud.com/GKLYCO.
Thanks again for listening. Hello. Good evening and remain indoors. This is a distraction. I repeat, this is a distraction. Pay no attention to the news.
Oh, putting it slightly friendlier, welcome, friends and country folk, to a new dawn, a new day, a new hope.
So close.
That was Star Wars, wasn't it?
I can see how you'd get Mos Eisley and the Trump inauguration mixed up.
Never before have I seen a greater hive of scum and villainy. Anyway, easily done. Welcome to the 9th episode of the 5th series of this wonderful show. Woo. In the week where Japan finally standardized, this is big news, everyone, Japan finally standardized the signage on its high-tech toilets.
Finally.
We've been waiting a long time.
I know. It's I can't express how big of a problem that's been. It is also the week in which the first bus tour for dogs was launched in London.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's quite impressive.
Woof. It's also the week...
Sorry, woof. All right, fair enough.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't have anything else to say about that. And it's also the week that Patrick Stewart revealed that he would be providing the voice of Pooh in the upcoming Emoji Movie.
Patrick Stewart.
Indeed.
Nice. But in all of those weeks, it's the Geekly Chronicles. Weird stuff everywhere this week, clearly.
And that's just the stuff growing in my tea mug.
Ew.
I love how, as the series has gone on, you've got less disgusting in real life and have started saving all of these nuggets of grossness for the show.
Now that is what I call disgusting. Anyway, on the show this week, we aim to be a friendly distraction from the slightly scarier things in the world. This show is dedicated to anyone with love in their hearts, with decency in their souls, and who was asked to, but refused to, play at Donald Trump's inauguration.
Yes.
Well, that rules out the Lord of the Dance then, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Just a bit, yes.
Oh dear.
So on this week's show, we are talking games and seeing what you think we'll be playing as the year goes on.
Yep, and speaking of Donald Trump, every time we or one of our guests or callers on the show tonight says the word Trump, we will donate £1, which actually works out at more than $1, to Planned Parenthood in the US in Mike Pence's name. For those not following politics, he's the one so keen to shut that vital service down. We are already up to £39, and that's just been Trump from our planning session earlier. 40 quid so far. There we go.
My favourite thing is how you were reading that, and like on our screens we've got a little totalizer, and as you were going through that, I was like, add one. Yeah. On top of all of that, we have all of our usual features, like the winning words words competition. Would you fund it? And another exciting instalment of Game of Geeks. I'm literally keeping a tally on my notepad here.
Excellent.
Brilliant. £41.
It's also International Cheese Day, and to celebrate, we're going to be getting up close and personal with some cheesy music.
Check.
Some cheesy stories.
Check.
And some cheesy cheese.
Cheesy peas?
Cheesy squeezy peas?
Easy squeezy cheesy peas.
I'm not sure what just happened.
That's the fast show for you.
And who would that be again, Kez?
Okay, so this will add $1 to our total of money that we're raising for Planned Parenthood this evening. I believe his name is...
the Knick-Knack Nazi?
The Knick-Knack Nazi. What was it? The giant orange turd? No. Turd-Face McGee. No. Oh, hang on. I know this. Donald Trump.
There you go.
There we go.
There's
What
your
are we up
pound.
to now?
£43 at the moment.
£43 currently. That's like $5 million. Is going to play.
Not with this exchange rate.
No, not with this exchange rate.
It's not quite. It's more like $53.
Okay,
according to Google.
So that's $53 so far to Planned Parenthood this
indeed.
show. Brilliant.
And anytime we say it on the show, we shall be adding it up. Especially if you in the chat room want to get involved and say something about that man, then we're going to have to read it out on air, aren't we?
Yep. So if you want to raise money for Planned Parenthood, let's make as much fun of the knick-knack Nazi, which is now my favourite phrase ever, thanks Catherine, as we possibly can. Here at the Geekly Chronicles, we're with you all evening and for the rest of time on the podcast, bringing you smiles and fighting against fascism.
All evening and the rest of time? I mean, I only signed on for the 2 hours. Do we get to leave the studio, or are we is it a sealed in sort of?
But people can listen back as many times as they like.
Yes, yeah. I mean, you don't have to be there when they listen back. We're recording it.
When people press that play button on Mixcloud,
we're not magically transported.
I'm not suddenly appearing in the studio. Oh, I've got to do it again.
It's like if more than 7 people listen at once, that's too many for the Horcruxes. I can't split myself in more pieces.
Well, actually, 7 would probably be optimal.
That's a fair point.
Bongella in the chat room says, apparently the internet says Trump does not wear a wig. I just can't believe it. Have you seen him?
I have seen.
That's £44
one of my favourite tweets recently was, I think Snoop Dogg tweeted yesterday a picture of a cracker with some. You remember when we tried that can of fake cheese?
Fake cheese,
tweeted a picture of a cracker with a wodge of fake cheese on the top saying "Our next president," which I thought was amazing.
I saw a nice similar thing where someone had put a lump of orange Play-Doh over their thumbnail, and it kind of looked.
Hey, it's Donald Trump. I was keeping you busy
45.
with your. That's not a sound effect button. Chris is actually just sat here with pound coins, putting it in a mug.
Yeah. Right, now, to steal a phrase from the great Cameo, word up.
It's that time again.
Time for the winning word. Possibly my favourite time of the show.
Really?
Yeah, along with the other hour and 50 minutes of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you don't already know, this is the point of the show where we give you a word to listen out for. Then, when you hear that word spoken by any of the presenters during the rest of the show, you could win big.
Ooh.
You need to listen carefully, but as soon as you hear it, you can call in and claim your prize. Kez, why don't you hit the buttons and let our listeners know what the word actually is?
I've got them right in front of me here.
This week's winning word is halloumi.
How cheesy.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, that ties quite nicely into the Cheese Lovers Day, International Cheese Lovers Day.
Yes, it is.
As soon as you hear the word, be the first to give us a call and win the stuff.
Indeed. And now, the most exciting part of the evening, the terms and conditions you've all been waiting for.
If you hear the winning word, give us a call in the UK on 020 3389 6245 or in the US on 415 287 9705. You might just win something. Calls cost the standard geographic rate from mobiles and BT landlines. Other networks may vary and international calls will cost significantly more. Lines close at the end of the show. Please do not try to enter if you are listening back to the podcast as the competition has closed, but you may still be charged. For full terms or to find another regional number, visit gkly.co/win.
Indeed. And do remember to get the bill payer's permission before you call, as lines are open. Wait for it. Now.
Hey, there we go. Oh, well, we want to play positive music on our show tonight, so please get those requests in.
Dweeb in the chat room says, the whole show is my favourite part of the show.
Oh,
Isn't that nice?
She also says, do we have a mic right next to the money jar? No, but we have a money jar right next to the mic.
Yes,
so
you can hear it rattling around. That's £45 in there.
We don't live in a world where we have an unlimited number of microphones to put next to things, but we do have 3 rather sturdy studio microphones and arms that can move things towards them. And that is how that works this evening. If anyone's ever been here to the Geekly studio, it's not the biggest studio, but it is well equipped with things like microphones.
Yes, that is why you can currently hear us.
It's the Geekly Chronicles.
That is $60.
And we would
already
love to donate more to Planned Parenthood this evening. So get everyone you know to listen to the show, as many people as you can in the chat room, tweeting us, texting us, whatever.
Yes.
Get people to get us to say that word, because we won't say that word unless we've got some prompts.
Yeah.
And
although
we might.
We might. It's our money. We're not asking you to donate to Planned Parenthood. We are donating to Planned Parenthood here at the Geekly Chronicles. You need to give us the prompt. You need to tell us how much you want us to donate in Mike Pence's name.
Yes. Although, if you do want to donate to Planned Parenthood, and you are able to do so, that would be very much appreciated by them, I'm sure, and we'll tweet a link for how you can do that. But also in the chat room, Meek Chopesh has said that they are Googling songs with the word Trump. So £50.
Oh, fantastic! But now let's move on from that and to our next feature.
Yes,
we don't want your money, but if we did, we'd spend it on stuff like this. It's Would You Fund It?
I forget we've got buttons for that.
Oh yes,
yes, it is time for our regular truffle in the forest of fictional funding.
So last week we had.
That's difficult to say.
It is, yes. It's almost as difficult as saying Trump.
Oh come on! No,
that was five. That was five.
1, 2,
there we go.
3.
We're going to waste a lot of time
4,
on the show tonight with that.
5.
That's £55 right there. Last week we had a special guest pitch from Tom Gilliford, who was here with Andrew in the kitchen making us some bug cake. We're not bug caking this week. We're cheesing this week. But this time it's
why wouldn't we have a food feature?
Well, of course, it is International Cheese Lovers Day, but this time on the show it is.
This week it's Chris's pitch.
Hey.
Gosh, is it really?
It is.
Should have come up with one, shouldn't I? Well,
what are we funding this week, Chris?
Fortunately, I do have an idea. We've discussed many times this series that the world seems to be taking a slightly more scary turn lately.
Trump.
Where have I got any more? Yeah. There's another pound. 56 we're on now. Thank you, Catherine, for keeping the totalizer up to date. We should have a totalizer on the website, really. Anyway, the world is taking a more scary turn, and a lot of people are thinking, okay, how can I best prepare myself for this? But, I mean, Catherine and I were talking earlier, because she's recently got me into watching The Walking Dead.
It's my mission. Get everyone to watch.
And
I mean, I don't watch it, but, you know...
in the end, you will. If Catherine is doing it right.
Yeah, one day. Once you can finally get me used to gore.
Yes. But in The Walking Dead and in many post-apocalyptic shows and films and stuff, there's a lot of emphasis around preparing for the end and having food and you know, building a bunker is often a good idea. But the problem, Catherine and I decided, was that building a bunker is a big investment. You've got to put a lot of money into it, and if you construct it like out of brick or something, or dig a hole in your garden or whatever, you can't move it.
No. Bunkers are hard to move.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of by design, so they are everything proof. But what if, you know, pop-up tents?
I own a pop-up tent.
I have used a pop-up tent.
What if science could find a way? Stick with me. Science could find a way. I'm not asking anyone to do the science. I'm just asking if they would fund the scientists doing the science to make a pop-up tent apocalypse bunker.
Ah.
Yes.
So shall we see what that might look like?
Yeah.
We should.
Don't you feel that you should be more prepared for the end of days?
Wishing you could build a bunker, but you live in a first-floor flat.
Or maybe just can't afford to buy all that canned food in one go.
You need the brand new pop-up apocalypse shelter from Grimes Industries.
Detachable dried food pouches line the inside of the shelter, meaning you'll never be short of food. And the built-in rainwater collector will keep you hydrated no matter how long the apocalypse lasts.
You can eat everything from your morning porridge to a full 3-course meal.
Our patented flexible lead lining will protect you from radiation and alien mind control. The optional aerosol concrete shell is impenetrable by zombies, vampires, and many other undead entities. Simply spray on and add water.
The There's even a chest of drawers for my Spartan Smart underwear.
And the coating makes each shelter look like a unique boulder to disguise it in the event of a robot uprising.
Worried you'll be on holiday when the apocalypse hits? With its handy travel bag, you'll never be far from shelter, whether you're at home or away.
It fits perfectly in my under-the-stairs nook next to all my bottled water and iron brew.
And once you've set up home, you can use Hammerly, our built-in ham radio social network, to keep in touch with other survivors.
The Pop-Up Apocalypse Shelter. Shelter our way. Keep the zombies at bay.
When travelling with the Pop-Up Apocalypse Shelter, you may incur additional baggage charges. Please note that Grimes Industries cannot be held responsible for any mutation. In the event of an apocalypse, please do not attempt to return this product.
I have some questions.
Uh-huh. Let's see if I can answer them.
First of all, flexible lead.
Yes. That's kind of the main science thing.
Second of all, aerosol concrete.
That's the secondary science thing that the funding, I'm hoping, will
I'm figuring that Scotty from Star Trek is probably going to come back in time and sort out the flexible lead.
Transparent aluminum.
At some point.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Do these bunkers, these pop-up bunkers, need windows? And if so, transparent aluminium?
No, because if they have windows and there's a robotic uprising, the robots would be able to look through and see that it's not a boulder, and then they would kill you.
Good point.
And the zombies would be able to see that there was a human in there and get frustrated by it. And, vampires would obviously know because they're clever. And, no, windows are a bad idea. What you could do with is like a camera on the outside and then a feed from the camera on the inside. But
yes. But, I don't know, with two minor scientific hurdles to cross, and then I think this could be a real winner.
Yeah, also, Grimes? Who's Grimes?
That's a Walking Dead reference.
Ah. And what about the underwear?
So this is something from...
That's a real thing, from CES.
CES a few weeks ago. Somebody was showing off these underwear with, silver woven in. So they're supposed to protect the contents of your underwear from... radiation and things.
So if I happen to be in the post-apocalyptic world, my nads will be quite happily protected.
Yeah.
Indeed they will.
Your fertility should not be affected.
Anyone's nads / other bits.
Whatever they keep in that particular region.
Whatever they choose to store in their underpants, really.
Yeah. Whatever they choose to store in their underpants.
You could wrap your cheese in them.
And who doesn't keep cheese in their underwear? I've always got a bit of underwear cheese on the go.
Then you wouldn't get, a radiated Stilton.
That's the worst. A radiated Stilton is the worst.
Okay.
Anyway.
It really is.
We'll be checking back in with the results of Would You Fund It later in the show.
We will. Just checking back in.
Just had Dweeb in the chat room has just gone, underwear cheese. Oh, there's an emoji that we've got more emoji news later, but there's an emoji in there that is like, I look at the emoji and I think it's,
also checking in with the chat room, someone called Trump is pretty cool, presumably that was supposed to be cool, has joined the channel, but that
and then
means,
left the channel.
Of course, Plink, £57, and also just scanning down the chat room.
Well, people were saying what is Trump's favourite drink, and of course, an actual fact is that Donald Trump doesn't drink. One of the first presidents to be teetotal, and of course, this does go on to prove that just because you don't drink alcohol doesn't make you a good person. Because Donald Trump,
thank you, £60.
There we go. Because Donald Trump is... why do I keep saying it? I'm going to be so broke at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah. That's $75 we're on now. £61.
Excellent. $75 and counting. We should be tweeting this.
We should.
But he doesn't drink. Yeah, and as Bongello quite rightly says in the chat room, his brother died of alcohol poisoning, so he doesn't drink, which is fair enough. But not drinking doesn't
make you
qualified to lead the free world.
Exhibit A.
Yes. Apparently being a Nazi fascist does. So congratulations, Mr. Trump.
But speaking again for Would You Fund It, for a moment, we did forget to say that you can vote for Would You Fund It.
You did, yeah.
You missed Mr. Trump.
You missed Trump.
That is 2 right there.
There we go.
I'm just... 63
We're going to need a bigger mug.
Yes,
we are. We need a bucket. We need a Trump bucket.
Significantly 64.
It's another one.
How can people vote for Would You Fund It?
If you want to vote for or against this idea, but I have to say the people that have already voted seem to be in support, head over to gkly.co/fundit, or you can vote in our Twitter poll, which is over on our Twitter account at GKLYCO. And as Catherine said, we will be checking back with the results a bit later on to see whether or not you would fund it.
You would. And we now have a request to play, which is great, because we have lots of happy, positive music we can play this evening. Now, this is it's kind of a bouncy song, but it is by, and I like the link here, Dweeb, the Presidents of the United States of America.
Nice.
Now, this band would have had to have changed its name lots of times, because when this song came out, we had Clinton, and then we had Bush, and then we had Obama, and now we have Trump. So
it's the Geekly Chronicles. It's like a penguin, but the jokes are better.
So it's just one button that's broken then.
Well, speaking of buttons and pressing them,
that might be the most vague segue we have ever done.
Really? You were talking about buttons, and now I'm going to talk about buttons on high-tech toilets. That isn't tenuous at all.
It's not tenuous. It's just vague. Anyway, toilets.
So apparently I've never been to Japan, but apparently their toilets are much more high-tech than in the rest of the world.
They do tend to be.
And so apparently, pressing the wrong button and having streams of water pour hell for leather towards your nether regions, as I'm reading here on CNET, is sadly a rite of passage in some of Japan's most high-tech restrooms. Lovely.
Pretty funky. I mean, I think it's cool to... I just think it's cool that Japan has high-tech bathrooms, to be honest with you. I want a high-tech toilet. I would love to spend some money on a high-tech toilet, but instead I'm donating pretty much everything I have left in the bank tonight to Planned Parenthood, it seems.
Indeed.
All thanks to Trump.
You've only got yourself to blame.
Oh,
you really have. That's £67 now.
Excellent.
Because we did say it again in the break.
I love that in this article there's a picture of sort of the Japanese Restroom Industry Association. So obviously people from that holding up this long banner, and on it are the different symbols for the different things.
Nice.
And, a few of them are quite easy to decipher. I'm guessing, some buttons are for putting the lid up and putting the lid down. There's a good buttons.
I use my hands to do that.
And then I'm guessing the next one is kind of a big flush and then a small flush. And then there's two which look like, I'm guessing, water being squirted at you from various angles.
What?
And then that symbol that looks a bit like strips of bacon. So I'm guessing that's the one for, blowing air.
No, it's for toilet breakfast. Toilet breakfast time.
Just bacon drop.
One of my favourite things, like bits of random graffiti that I've seen is, that symbol is often on hand dryers. On the little instructional plaque that you often get on hand dryers, as if people don't figure out how to use them. But
yes.
Someone had just written under it. It was one of those ones where you have to press the button, and it had the little drawing of someone pressing the button and then the hot air. And someone had written, "Push button, receive bacon." It's like, yes, install that hand dryer everywhere.
That.
I think it was that image probably that I see that made me think of that when I saw this. So I was like, okay, toilet bacon.
Totally.
And then there's one which is just a square. So I'm thinking that's probably stop. Just stop.
Just stop.
Stop happening.
I don't like all this bacon. Why am I on the toilet with jets of water and bacon? And stop
the lid's
it.
going up and
Just
down.
stop.
Like,
Just stop.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think probably Japan's motivated to do this. Besides, they're hosting the Rugby World Cup in 2019 and the Olympics in 2020. So
some consistency in your toilet buttons for that could be useful.
We've had an interesting story develop in the chat room as well. Toilet bacon and underwear cheese. Oh my! I have realised that we have suddenly become quite the lazy food show here.
Yeah. The Lazy Food Chronicles.
It's like I've got my bedside table chicken bucket. Who doesn't have a... No? I've got a bucket. There's like a bucket that I can fit a KFC bucket inside, attached to my bedside table. So if I want fried chicken in bed, And let's face it, who
supposed
doesn't?
To be like a waste paper basket.
It might have started out life as a waste paper basket, but to be perfectly honest with you, I use it for fried chicken.
Interesting.
That's a beautiful story.
Come chill out in my bedroom. I've got fried chicken, people. Not fried chicken, people. That would be weird.
Yeah.
What's a chicken person?
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No.
I
I've
think
got off tangent. But the story that I was going to talk about in the chat room is that ZXYZZYQYX, which I'm going to now pronounce as.
Did you just get like an electric shock?
I think I might have done.
Over there.
Says that the English word Trump derives from Triumphi, type of 15th century Italian playing card, from the Latin triumphus, as in triumph, victory, procession, and ultimately from the Greek thing, the term for a hymn to Dionysus sung in processions in his honour. So we should really blame Dionysus for Donald Trump.
Clearly, we should. And as Bonjela points out, it is also British slang for fart.
It is, yep. You can do a Trump.
That is £70, people.
Wow, there we go.
That is a big number already.
Big number. We have been saying the word quite a lot today. We started out this morning at we do a little show day breakfast thing, and we started out by saying Trump there. Yes, Bonjela. I didn't even think that time.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very expensive show for me. I might have to stop.
Yes, possibly.
Stop trumping.
You say, and then say it again.
I just really want to donate money to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Especially
so
like
if we say words with Trump in them, like trumping, trumped, trumpet, do they also count?
I am counting it just because...
I think saying trumpet's okay, because that's a real thing, but if I were to say the phrase, like, show you my trump card, that would be
Right, okay.
How much are we on now?
Glad that's cleared up.
£77.
That is $95.
Yay!
We are nearly at $100 already. Nicely done, everyone.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. But moving away from America and turning our sights to London for a moment, there's this new type of tour bus I was hearing. What is all of that about?
So apparently, they've launched a tour bus that you can take your dog for a tour of London if you feel that your dog needs to be more cultured.
I mean, yeah, I can sort of see the appeal of maybe... No, I don't understand. No. Why? Why, Catherine? Why? Tell me. Why?
Well, I don't know, but it's free.
That's okay then.
Okay, can humans go?
I'm not sure. I clearly haven't looked into this enough. I just know that it's free. It's a customised London route master, aptly named K9.
Nice.
It departs 3 times a day, 10 a.m, 12 p.m, and 2 p.m. From Millbank near the Tate Britain on the South Bank.
Brilliant.
For a 90-minute whistle-stop tour of the best doggy spots the capital has to offer.
Doggy spots?
Yes, doggy spots.
I did not mishear that then.
DOGGY.
Okay,
Yes.
good stuff. Because I've been on a tour of other spots that sounded similar before, and it was not as entertaining.
No.
So the route is a figure 8 incorporating 4 of London's parks, and also some sort of places which are of sort of interest to dogs and their owners. So I'm assuming the owners must be on there as well, because it says that the sort of the tour guide will point these out on the way. So I'm guessing that would be a little bit lost on the dogs, who would probably just be enjoying the view out of the window, or
Probably.
or enjoying sniffing each other.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
There is some weird stuff going on in the world.
Yeah. Are you required to bring a dog? That's what I want to know. Can I just go on and pet all the dogs?
Pet all the dogs.
I want
I don't
to
know.
pet
It sounds
all of the
Pet
dogs.
all the
sounds like
dogs.
it's for dogs and owners.
Well, step 1, acquire a dog. Step 2, get on this free bus, pet all of the dogs.
There
Step
are
3.
some cute pictures.
There
in
is
this
no step
article
3.
I found.
Oh, those are adorable.
There's a Dalmatian looking out of the window at the Elizabeth Tower, which is very which looks very cute.
Those are some excellent pictures. And they've redone like the upholstery as well, so that there's little dogs on the seats and like London landmarks.
I see. I see. Now it's backed by a UK insurance company called More Than. So it's probably their pet care insurance. So this is probably where you can go and do it for free. How cool. So if you've got a doggy pet and you're in London, go take a free ride on the doggy tour bus.
Absolutely.
That's so cute.
If any of my friends are listening and you do have a dog that you wouldn't mind me walking for the day, send me a text.
Have you never seen the app Borrow My Doggy?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can sign up as a dog walker.
Be a dog borrower.
Yeah, you can go and walk people's dogs or dog sit, spend time with them. You sign up as someone who wants to borrow doggies, and people who need someone to look after their dog and stuff can go and do it. I'm a member.
This has
It's like BRB, Chris is down there.
Worldview.
No, seriously, Borrow My Doggy. Search it up on your phone's respective app store.
Right now.
It is incredible. I mean, seriously, you can walk them, you can play with them, you can just be a dog sitter. You can have dogs come to your house, like a doggy daycare. Seriously, but Borrow My Doggy is amazing.
Yeah, I heard about this through the wonderful Tom Cox on Twitter because he's a dog borrower. So it's kind of if you're in a position where you can't have your own dog because perhaps you live somewhere that's too small or you're busy and out at work a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have a studio puppy, but unfortunately for radio, the whole having a creature that would want to make noise when you were making noise is kind of tough.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be fair to ask it to be quiet. And in fairness, it probably wouldn't listen to me. But Borrow My Doggy is amazing.
Well, I mean, you two are okay to take care of the rest of the show, right? I mean, I've just got to nip out for a couple of weeks.
Yes, but we'll see you in episode 10.
Yeah.
Zux Zeke XXX. The person who I tried to mention in the chat room previously has actually told me how to pronounce their name. Zux Zeke X. Zuxy Zeeks. Okay, Zuxy Zeeks. Thank you for telling us how to do that. We are at the what amount of money?
We are at, I believe. Sorry, my phone is just downloading the Dolce app. We're on £77.
£77. Right. Let's see if we can add a lot more to that through the rest of the show. But first off, you introduced me to this band, Catherine. Kind of Japanese pop.
Yeah. So Japanese punk pop.
And they did a whole album of covers of Ramones songs.
They did.
Which is amazing. But this particular one, I can imagine... does anyone know the name of Donald Trump's mum? Mrs. Trump Senior. Anyway, whatever her name is. I can imagine... Yeah, I've actually got a sound effect now, as Amy said that is what Trump means in England. We could... there we go.
Yeah, better than me making sounds near the microphone.
But unfortunately, I think now every time we press that, it also triggers a pound going in. So
depends on how many pound coins I've got left, actually. But I can't decide whether or not to add one. I am interrupting you because we have just raised $100 for Planned Parenthood.
$100. What's that in pounds?
That's £81.
Fantastic. Okay.
You're listening to the Geekly Chronicles. It's like Fox News, but with more news and more foxes.
We don't actually have a fox in the studio, but we've definitely got more foxes than Fox News.
Actually, I did find a fox story this week.
Ooh.
That was quite mildly interesting.
That was a synchronised ooh there. Nice work.
This was kind of... I'm just dropping this in completely randomly. This was unplanned.
Sorry. That was a very perfectly timed cough there.
Yeah, sorry, complete coughing fit. This was one of the kind of contenders for, in the week that this happened and that happened. So a girl in London came home to find that a fox had broken into her bedroom.
Nice.
And was asleep on her bed.
Interesting.
And it was actually quite adorable. One of her housemates filmed it.
Well, yeah. I
can
imagine it would be.
A couple of days later, it broke in again. It was just chilling out in the living room.
Nice.
Wow, that's good. How did it break in? Was it like forced entry? Did it find the spare key under the doormat?
I don't know. There weren't really details of how it got in, but, apparently it was sort of a locked room on the 3rd floor. So
Brilliant. Well, Catherine appears to be dying slowly over there in the corner, but that's okay.
A little bit.
All good. That's what's yes.
That sentence
I was
ended abruptly.
I was mostly waiting for Catherine to pick up, but that's fine. Every show we
Sorry, I'm
add a
choking.
£5 bundle of randomness. This is for the winning word competition. Every show we add a £5 bundle of randomness into the winning word prize stash, and this week is no exception.
That's right. Every episode we order something completely at random from Terence Eden's Cool Stuff for £5 and Under blog at fiverfun.tumblr.com. We have absolutely no idea what it's going to be, so
None at all.
it may well be terrible, but we're going to open it up on air and see what we've got.
Yes, so while Catherine has left the room to clear her throat,
Deal with whatever's going on.
apparently had got some fascism stuck in it, let's say.
Yeah, sure.
Damn it,
Sounds
Trump.
about right.
So here we go. There we go. So I'm opening up this mystery box here to see what this week's £5 thing is going to be. So there we go. And oh, here we go. It's a book.
Ooh.
It is 1,411 QI facts to knock you sideways.
Golly.
Would you like some examples?
I would like some examples of some facts.
Orchids can get. I'll say that again. Orchids can get jet lag.
Can they really?
Palm trees are a type of grass.
Interesting.
Lizards can't breathe and walk at the same time.
Nor can I. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I was going to say walking anywhere with you is a nightmare. Viagra is a combination of fertility and Niagara.
Interesting.
Yep. Oh, it's a good one. Traffic lights existed before cars did.
Also interesting.
And
Well-
Sir Bruce Forsyth, Brucey,
Yes.
he's actually 4 months older than sliced bread.
I knew that one, actually. It's rather excellent.
Yeah. So this whole book here.
I am sufficiently knocked sideways
Yes.
by those facts.
So,
Golly, I have been horizontally transported, as blah blah says in the chat room. I have been forcibly moved along a
forcibly
2D
moved.
plane.
Yes, and so you can win that and a whole bunch of geek.
A whole bunchel.
A whole bundle. I blame Trump. A whole bundle of Geekly merch. There we go. Another Trump word in there. A whole bundle of Geekly merch. A whole bundle of Geekly merch. We'll be going to the winner of the winning word competition, so you
Yes.
need to listen out for that word at some point during the show. And just as a reminder from the lovely voice of our jingles.
This week's winning word is halloumi.
So when the three of us say that word,
That doesn't count.
that doesn't count.
Patty doesn't count.
That does not
We have made this
count.
clear. Just so you know.
Oh, Catherine, I've heard that it's time for a special feature.
It's time for this week's Tumble Fumble. Are you ready for a stroll in the hay?
Ah, the Tumble Fumble.
Indeed.
Yes.
What is new in the magical world of the internet?
What
this
have you
week?
fracked from the depths of the internet today?
Indeed. Well, it's 2 Twitter accounts to start us off. One is just nice animal pictures because people tend to like those.
They are good.
So it's an account I found called Bird Per Hour, and it does exactly what it says on the handle. It gives you a
Nice.
bird every hour. So if you want to find that, it's at Bird Per Hour on Twitter. Just lots and lots of birds.
Brilliant.
And they're all kind of cute and birdie. Also on Twitter, I discovered this one. You know how you get GIFs on Twitter now?
Yes.
Or GIFs, if you're one of those people.
No, they're gifts.
Exactly, that's why I said one of those people. So
Golly.
if you like GIFs, but sometimes, they're silent, obviously, and quite often it's portraying something spoken. So, they're kind of subtitled. And
Yeah.
But what if you could get GIFs from silent movies?
Interesting.
So to check some out, you can go to @SilentMovieGifs.
Silent
Nice.
movie gifts.
Yep, loads of GIFs from silent movies. Awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Give us any examples. There's a nice Charlie Chaplin one there.
Yep, there's a bit of Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, there's lots of those.
Yeah. Oh, there really
Also
are.
quite a bit of Buster Keaton.
Yes.
Those are excellent.
More
Laurel and Hardy. More Charlie Chaplin.
I like these
Some
actually. I
Harry
think I might
Carey.
use these a lot more often.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. I sort of got lost scrolling through just sort of endless silent movie gifs.
That is quite incredible. These actors are so talented.
What I thought GIFs or GIFs, or as one friend of mine used to say, GIFs were missing.
GIFs.
Yes.
GIFs. They had a stutter.
Yeah, it's the appeasement approach to pronouncing that particular word. But what GIFs have been missing is, in really old silent films where the action would happen and someone would speak and then an intertitle would come up with what they've just said. That, in regular GIFs, would be brilliant.
Intertitle.
Yes, that thing that pops up and is like...
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, that's what it said.
Or perhaps we should just silent all of our current TV and add those in.
Oh, but interestingly,
yes,
you say that. I was looking on Twitter earlier, and it turns out that the BBC's coverage of the Trump inauguration... Yes, I realise that's another one in the pot.
Indeed
but
it is. That's £85 now.
The BBC television version of the Trump inauguration had the wrong subtitles on it. So you had Donald Trump being inaugurated with EastEnders subtitles.
Oh,
over
wow.
it.
Nice.
And it was amazing. So I'll have to retweet it. Somebody did a video. I think I did retweet it, actually. So if you look on my profile, Kez Guy, you should be able to see that on there. It's incredible because it makes so much more sense. Like, here's some dramatic EastEnders verbiage with Donald Trump looking with this kind of poo-eating grin on him. So what else have you got? What else have you got?
That was another
for
one,
us?
wasn't it?
There we go.
Yes. So distracted by the
The counting is the...
So distracted by the notion of a poo-eating grin.
Someone in the chat room has asked, what about silent radio?
Ooh.
I mean,
I kind of like the idea of silent radio. I think it would be a bit like... Which is kind of boring.
yeah,
because we could kind of talk to each other here in the studio. We could sign at each other. We could lip read. But it was probably more boring for you than it was for us. Let's face it.
I did actually instinctively start signing a link then and think, this is not going to work. They're not going to know I'm doing this. We're on the radio.
Yes, unfortunately, you can't get us in British Sign Language or American Sign Language or any other brand of sign language because you can't see us.
Yes.
However, if you stand next to your printer, we will print in Braille for you.
Yes. We'll just fax you this episode.
Is that possible?
You can get Braille printers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Can you fax to them?
Probably, because Braille
must be
printers have been
something
around
I
for the
do.
last 30 or 40 years, so at some point they would have done a Braille fax machine. I think they're probably harder to get now because, things are better.
Time.
Yeah.
But you can get Braille displays, which are about the size of like a keyboard, and they've got loads of little bumps on them that just raise or lower themselves depending on what's on the computer screen. So that's pretty brilliant.
That is very true.
So,
Yeah.
Well, lots of people are requesting songs, but unfortunately they're quite explicit. Have we got anything else in the Tumble Fumble?
We have one more thing.
Ooh, exciting.
So this was something that I sort of discovered in a really roundabout way. So somebody sent me a link to something on 9gag, and then kind of a bit of digging around. I think, Chris, you shared it on Facebook, and somebody pointed out that actually this had sort of began life as a subreddit in a subreddit on reddit.com. So on the Ask Reddit subreddit. And somebody asking, I know, somebody asking, add ing to the end of a movie title. What is the movie about now?
Oh, I love this idea.
So these have just become wonderful, really. So things like The Jungle Booking. This summer, the jungle is reserved for you.
I said booking the jungle. I like it.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of my other favourites. The Da Vinci Coding. A Renaissance artist travels to the future to become a programmer.
Nice. I like that one. The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttoning. Just 3 perplexing hours of an old guy struggling to get his shirt on right.
Yes, that would not be fun viewing, I don't think.
No. But as Catherine said, I shared this on Facebook, and we've had quite a lot of suggestions, some of which we can read out and some of which we can't. Adam Costello says The Breakfast Clubbing, which is quite a nice one. Robert says Lord of the Ringing.
Yes.
One that goes back to our last episode, actually, also from Robert, Beetlejuicing.
Ah, yes.
That's perfect, actually, for our last
We should have
episode.
had a glass of Beetlejuice with our bug cake last week. Suggest that to Tom.
Yeah. I rather like the idea of the dark knighting.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
Arise, Sir Batman.
Indeed. And also Avengers assembling.
I love the idea
Brilliant.
of Thor putting up my flat pack furniture with Molinar, the hammer.
That's not even close to how you say it.
Molinar.
Mjolnir. Yes.
Whatever.
I'm sure Tom
Do
Gilliford
those
is judging me
noises
right now.
count?
That one does.
I'm just going to throw £1 in the mug because
Thank
that
you.
gets us ever closer to 90 quid.
Trumpy, trumpy, trump, trump. That was 4.
4.
Yeah.
93.
There we go.
I just the thought of, and also obviously putting up flat pack furniture is quite frustrating sometimes. So I can just imagine the Hulk reducing a Billy bookcase to
smithereens.
matchsticks.
Yes.
Casablanking, also from Adam Costello.
That's not bad.
Nice. I like that one. Robocopping. Or robo-coping, depending on how you read it, from Phil Bowen.
Robo-coping. The emotionally adept robot.
The Maltese falconing from Brian Wood. Quite nice. Yeah. Thank you for all of your suggestions on those. Those have been quite entertaining as you've been sending them in.
Yep, thanks everyone.
As the afternoon goes on.
Well, coming up after the next song, we've got our guest of the evening. We'll be talking to Ryan Braun about gaming in 2017. We have spent a lot of time talking about Trump this evening. We've also spent a lot of time talking about various other things. But of course, there we go. We could put another £1 in the jar there.
Yes, we could.
There we go.
Missed that one. Sorry, I was in the chat room. I was in the chat room answering questions about the jar pound putting in. I can say it is legitimate. I do have the mug in front of me.
You do have the pound coins, but
yes, we are searching through our pockets and wallets at the moment.
Yes, it may well get to a point where we have to recycle the pounds in the mug. We are keeping a tally, and we will be doing a donation at the end of the show.
We're currently on £94,
That's
which
excellent.
is rather exciting and works out to roughly $116.
Fantastic. So keep those trumps coming in. But for now, we are going to play a song, then we're going to go to our guest. Then, of course, we've got our fantastic cheese segment, and we'll be doing Game of Geeks a bit later as well.
It's the Geekly Chronicles.
So we're joined now on the line by Ryan Braun, a video games journalist with The Mirror. Hello, Ryan.
Hello.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm cold and cold.
It is cold.
Excellent.
Just cold.
It is. What perfect weather to stay in and play video games.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's almost like we planned that.
I mean, in my book, all weather is perfect weather to stay indoors and play video games, but that's just me.
Or even go outdoors and play video games.
Yes.
It's actually really bad weather to play Pokemon Go.
That is true.
I have had very cold fingers this week.
But have you caught any... Are there ice Pokemon? Have you caught any ice Pokemon?
And no, I haven't, weirdly.
I suppose technically any water Pokemon is Sub-Zero temperatures is an ice Pokemon.
Probably.
Yeah. It's just a frozen solid Squirtle in your front garden.
But speaking of frozen solid Squirtles, Ryan, thanks for joining us on the show, and we'd love to ask you a bit more about kind of where gaming is, because, I mean, other than Pokemon Go, Catherine and I are a bit clueless when it comes to video games.
You two don't game, do you?
No.
Not really, no.
The Nintendo Switch has just been announced, which I know Kez is really excited about. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really understand what it is, and Catherine hadn't heard of it before this morning.
Yeah, so can you explain what that is?
Yes, sure. So generally speaking, Nintendo are selling it as a hybrid console. So it acts as both a home console and a handheld console.
So this is kind of different for Nintendo, though, isn't it? For the last couple of iterations, they've had this real focus on it doesn't matter if the graphics are any good as long as it's a bit quirky. And, you know, they even named it after urinating, which is not the best.
We as in a group, yeah.
But the Nintendo Switch looks like it's got amazing graphics.
It does. However, I mean, that the trend there hasn't actually been changed, if I'm honest. The graphics will still not be up to par, so it won't be able to compete with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on that term. So they can't really market it as something that is better than those consoles in that area because it just won't be. Nintendo now, I think they're not going to try directly competing with the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One because it just won't work. So they have to try and market it as being something different, either something that people that aren't into those consoles will want or something that will sit beside those consoles or someone that already has them. So yeah, they I think they know by now that they just aren't going to be able to compete in the standard market now.
So we're not going to see a new console from Microsoft or Sony this year.
Well, there will be the Xbox Scorpio. They're calling it Scorpio at the moment, but it'll probably be called Xbox One something. But that's just an upgrade of the Xbox One. It's not necessarily an entirely new console. It's just the sort of like an iPhone 6 and iPhone 6s sort of thing. It's just going to be an upgrade of it.
Right,
other
that
than
makes
that,
sense.
yeah, we'll just be Nintendo's new console.
So Nintendo are kind of out of sync with the rest of the gaming universe.
They always have been, though. They've always been an entirely difficult thing to predict because the Wii happened, and the Wii was so different from what was out there at the time. When you look at the Wii and the PS3 and the 360, which all competed at the time.
The Wii was totally different.
Sales, it was totally different. After poor sales of the GameCube before it, no one really thought that it was going to be as big as it was. And also it was massive. It was huge success. Of course, I would argue that the market that bought the Wii, that was in 2006, 2008, between then really. That market, that casual gaming market, I would argue now have smartphones. So they probably don't need to buy a new console now. They'd be fully happy with having a smartphone.
Well, some of the games that I've seen for the Switch so far, there's a Zelda game, so it's like a proper traditional RPG. There's a Sonic game, there's a Mario game, and they all look, whether it's platformer or RPG, they look very console-based games. They're not for the casual gamers in the same way that, Wii Bowling or whatever was. And I was really, I don't know, there's something about I was always a Sega nerd. I was a huge Sega fan. And there's something for me really jarring about seeing a new Sonic game coming to the Nintendo console as a flagship thing. I mean, I have a cupboard full of Sega machines. I was playing on my Master System the other night. I've got a Sega Saturn, and suddenly my new Nintendo console is going to have Sonic on it, and that's a bit weird.
Well, I mean, Sonic's been on Nintendo consoles for like 15 years now. It's been a while.
Ever since the Dreamcast collapsed, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube. I mean, it was a while back now. But that Sonic game will be on every console. It will be on Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One, and PC, probably around about the same time. The problem with Nintendo Switch games at the moment are there's not a lot of them. Even at launch, the Zelda game that's coming out, which looks absolutely fantastic and plays fantastically, is also on the Wii U. So it isn't actually exclusive to the Switch. And then you have Skylanders and Just Dance will be out as well on launch day. Again, both ports. Within the launch period, lots of ports, lots of games are already on other consoles, and then Mario won't be out until the end of the year. So there isn't a great deal of games, which is a concern. There is a game called 1-2 Switch coming out on launch day. That is more of a casual game. That is, it is almost like the Wii Sports of the Switch. It's little mini games that show you how the Switch works. But
good.
The problem there is it's not bundled in. You have to buy it for about £40, which seems a bit silly. If I think they should have bundled it in, but they haven't, and I don't see anyone buying it. I've played it, and it's fun for about 5 minutes. Like, it's the sort of thing you would show your family. This is how the Switch works. Come play this. But I don't know if anyone's going to buy it for like £40. Seems a bit silly.
Yeah, I mean, Wii Bowling was kind of the extent of my skill set when it came to games on the Wii. So I don't know if I'd be convinced enough in my abilities to use the Switch to warrant spending 40 quid on the demo game, essentially.
And yet, every time I tried Wii Bowling at my local bowling alley, they kicked me out.
Yeah,
I'm getting some very odd looks in the studio.
I'm just imagining the slippery lanes.
Oh dear.
I just don't want to read too much into that, otherwise I get disgusted. So let's talk about kind of other stuff that's happening in gaming. I know VR is a big thing,
Sure.
having games literally beamed onto your face. But why is that such a big deal? Why should I, someone who doesn't understand games, care about VR?
So VR is a complex one because you hear a lot about it. Because press are excited by it, journalists see it and they know that it's the future of tech. The problem is that the public don't feel that way. Much of the public have either only briefly heard about VR, but aren't that bothered by it, or haven't heard about it whatsoever. As much as we think that VR is an absolutely humongous thing, because companies are working on it, the sales don't really reflect that currently. The sales are not good at all for VR. But that's not because the tech's bad. The tech is fantastic. The VR is fantastic. But I think it's just come too soon. The cost is too high. Even for the PlayStation VR, which is the cheapest one, that's still £350. And that you're going to have to buy that on top of the console if you don't have the console already. If you want an Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, if you don't have a decent gaming PC, you're looking at over $1,000, and like that's a really difficult thing to push on people that aren't already interested in that. So currently it is a niche. It is a niche market at the moment. Hopefully it picks up, but I think it's years away. I think it's years away until it becomes a big booming industry, if I'm honest.
I've tried VR twice in my life. Once was when I was very little, and there was this giant kind of virtual reality machine at, ironically, my local bowling centre. And I didn't wee on it, don't worry. But no, it was... I tried it out, and I was very small, and it was very... There were no real 3D graphics. It was just blocky shapes and whatever. We're going back a while. But then about a year ago, I tried the HTC Vive. And wow, it was incredible. I was just in this... there wasn't very much on there. There weren't many games at the time. There was just the Portal showcase kind of thing and a painting app. And that was quite fun, and I tried it. It was great. But then recently I've started playing Elite Dangerous on the PC, and I love Elite. It's a great game, but you can play that in VR. And I'm thinking that if I played that in VR, I would probably lose myself in that world entirely, because it would be amazing.
I mean...
But would you pay for it? But would you pay for VR for that?
See, I think the Vive is amazing, but I would not pay £1,000 to get a computer that could cope with it and then buy the Vive on top of it. If it was £400, £500, I'd consider it. But
yeah, I have used VR once or twice, and the HTC Vive is kind of like I've used that and some Samsung thing at an event. And the HTC Vive was the only VR thing I've ever done that I've thought, okay, this is actually VR done to an extent that would be worth buying, because you can actually interact with the virtual world.
I mean, on the very cheap end, right, Google Cardboard that you can slide your smartphone into, and that's terrible.
It's fun because it costs a tenner.
But do you think these smartphone VR systems are worth anything?
Yes, yeah, I do. I think basically, as I say, like because it's the HTC Vive really is the best VR headset at the moment, and it's that tech that everyone is impressed by. But I think us that are interested in tech, we get trapped in a little bubble and assume that everyone knows what we know, and the public simply don't know anything about VR. They really don't. They haven't tried it. They don't really know about it. They don't care about it. And that's where the mobile VR comes in, because it's cheap and it's accessible. Everyone already has a phone. Nobody needs to buy a console for it. You don't need to buy an expensive PC. Everyone has a smartphone. And as you say, Google Cardboard is like £10. The Samsung Gear VR is like under £100 still. It's not great. It's not great tech-wise. It is just, it's basically just you using your head as a camera. It doesn't really have any depth to it whatsoever. But it's that will get people to recognize what VR is. The only issue there is you don't want to undersell them on it. But, that really is the step. As I say, I think it's just that it needs more time. I think in like 5 years, everyone will have a VR headset, because the tech now will be cheaper by then. But it's just too expensive. It's just too expensive to be popular.
So, all right, let's switch off of VR. What are the best games coming out this year?
It's quite a decent year for games, and that's just what we know so far. I think last year was a really good year, anyway. Just looking through a list. I mean, the first big game that comes out this year is in about 4 days, which is Resident Evil 7, and funnily enough, ties into VR. It's one of the biggest games that will work with the PlayStation VR, and it's a really good game. And it's odd to have a huge game come out in January, because obviously everyone usually wants to hit the Christmas period, but it is actually a legitimately decent game. So that would be hopefully big. I mean, if that does kick off that game and sells well, then maybe PlayStation VR might do a little bit better, which would be nice. Other than that, there's a new Halo Wars game. There's a game called Horizon Zero Dawn, which is coming out on PlayStation 4, which is basically you're fighting giant robot dinosaurs in the wild, which is awesome.
That is awesome. That just
and it looks,
that just needs to be my life. That's amazing. It's my new career.
But yeah, it's like this weird clash of sort of you're like a hunter and an archer, and there's lots of nature, and then there is the robot dinosaurs wandering around. So it's like this nice clash, and yeah, it looks really good. It's like a role-playing sort of action role-playing game. It looks really good.
Nice.
So that's February, the end of February, I think. So that would be the next big game after Resident Evil, really. After that is March, so that's when Nintendo Switch comes out. No idea if it's going to be big or not, if I'm honest. I think we'll initially think it is, just because it's going to sell out on launch day, and everyone go, oh, it's sold out, that must mean it's popular. But it won't necessarily. It just means that the stocks have run out. Because fans will always buy it at launch, and then we'll see if it's really successful depending on the sales throughout the year. But yeah, March, we have that. That's pretty good. And also the new Mass Effect game. I strangely haven't played them myself, but they're quite big. Everyone's looking forward to that big space sim sort of game. Then there is, in April, there's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. So it's just like an update of Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U, really. It's pretty decent.
Cool.
I remember being terrible at Mario Kart.
Yep.
You're terrible at most games,
I love
Chris.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart
I
is
love
amazing.
it. I'm terrible at it, but I love playing it.
No, I like playing it.
I think
but
that's how a lot of people feel about it.
I would just end up going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like,
I do that thing.
How did I do that?
I do that thing where you like veer off the road, crash into a wall, then like reverse into a penguin.
Chris,
then...
that wasn't Mario Kart. That was you in my car at the zoo.
Yeah. That does...
your flashbacks here.
That does explain the fine I received.
But no, I was playing Mario Kart on the SNES the other day, actually, and it's fundamentally hasn't changed too much.
Oh no, it really hasn't. No, yeah, I mean the mechanics are still completely the same. Yeah,
It's a 20-year-old game.
basically.
So
yeah, a lot of series do that though. They just sort of are updating the graphics and sort of how it works fundamentally, but gameplay-wise, it's still the same thing.
So what's in your humble opinion, with everything going on over in America today, as we've talked about a little bit on the show, we're trying to get a positive spin away from Trump. That's another
it's another pound in the jar.
There we go. What would be your ultimate feel-good anti-Trump game?
It's another pound in the jar.
There we go. So any game, whether it's current or old, what would be the game that you think people should play to get over those Inauguration Day blues?
You should definitely play a Nintendo game, I think. I mean, they're colourful and in no way touch upon sort of the realism of the world. It's just little mushroom people and or in the case of Sonic, little robot people. And yeah, I mean, if you're feeling bad and you put on a Nintendo game, it's kind of difficult to stay feeling sad. That's how I feel. I'll come home. If I'm genuinely in a bad mood, I'll come home and I'll put on a Nintendo console because it's so colourful. How can you be sad looking at that?
It's true. It's very different to like Call of Duty. It's you've got Bowser and mushroom people and a green dinosaur that you can ride on the back of.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even Minecraft. I think a lot of people hate on that just because it's popular. Even a lot of journalists just sort of feel a bit meh about it just because it's popular. But it is very calming. Like, to just sit and play that for a couple of hours is just so... It's like doing yoga for gamers.
It is. It is. It's
meditative.
It is very. And I used to play Minecraft to chill out all the time. I think maybe those journalists just haven't played much Minecraft.
Yeah.
They just don't get it.
My favourite thing about Minecraft is how, if you really want to shut the world out, you can build a little box in the game and hide from the in-game world as well as hiding from the real world. If it gets doubly bad.
That's like the Russian doll approach to hiding.
Yep.
It's Inception. You're in a game, inside a game.
Yes.
So you could have your games console inside your pop-up apocalypse bunker.
Yes.
And then build your...
Yeah. And then
a little box.
Build a box and then build another box inside that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxception.
Boxception. That's what they should have called that.
Yeah. Minecraft, the boxceptioning.
Yes.
We're not very good at names here.
I feel like we've gone off on a bit of an odd tangent.
Slightly, yes.
The only other big game than that really is the sort of standard stuff like Call of Duty, comes out every year. There is a Red Dead game, new Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, really?
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
That finally comes out.
Pew-pewing with the Cowboys.
10 years since the last one.
Oh, wow. Now I feel old.
That will probably be the big game, to be fair. Like in the sort of autumn time, it's going to be one of the biggest games of the year. Anything that Rockstar put out, whether it be a new GTA game, is always huge. It's always absolutely massive. So that would be the big game, I imagine, of the year, that one. Who doesn't want to be a cowboy, to be honest? It's quite fun.
Oh, no, who doesn't want to be a cowboy? Who doesn't want to date a cowboy? I mean, all of those, it ticks all my boxes right there.
Yeah, I'd date a cowboy. I'd be a cowboy. Yep.
Yep, as long as I got to wear the hat, I don't matter what way around it is. So, last but not least then, we've talked about feel-good games, stuff that's coming out right now. But if you had one message to... there are a lot of people in the world that don't understand gaming and gamers and think that it's... yes. But you at least acknowledge that games are good, Chris. There are so many people in the world that think games are harmful as well. So there are lots of people that either don't get games, don't play them, or think they're bad. If you could say one thing to them, what would your impassioned plea to non-gamers be?
My plea would be that it is just an escape from reality. Even if it is a game that seems to be filled with violence, that's just sort of release for people. They're not sitting imagining themselves doing it. They're just sort of losing themselves into this fantasy in the same way that you would read a book or watch a movie about these things happening. You're never really thinking, yeah, I want to do that. It's just an escape from reality, and it de-stresses people. And that's just violent games. There are obviously much less violent games. Everyone nowadays plays on their mobile. Everyone plays little puzzle games on their phones or Pokemon Go. And if you saw the impact Pokemon Go had, that was a hugely positive impact that had on people. There were stories coming out about people with autism that had never really socialized with people before. They were going out of the house to go and catch Pokemon and talking to other people that were playing the game because of that game. It was a hugely impactful game. And as are a lot of games, that's on a smaller scale, that's what games are to a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, they really do. I honestly believe that they do change people's lives for the better. There's my passionate appeal to people that don't play video games. I'm sure it will change minds.
So we ask all our guests when they come on the show to request a song. So would you like to introduce your request?
Yes, because of the Trumpy things and the
There's another pound
things,
in the jar.
I thought, I thought we would have a happy thing, which is Move Your Feet by Junior Senior. You might remember this, might not,
Brilliant.
but it's very happy.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Ryan, and spreading your gaming messages of positivity and what's going to be good this year.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
£100.
It's like rain on your wedding day, a free ride when you've already paid, like the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought? It's Geekly.
Huge thanks there to Ryan for joining us and talking about lots of cool gaming-related things.
Yes. Also, don't forget to keep getting your votes in for Would You Fund It over at gkly.co/fundit, and we will be checking the results later in the show. And yes, indeed, we have raised £100 for Planned Parenthood.
Thank you, Trump.
Yay.
£101.
Our mentioning of Trump every time we want to
£102.
raise a bit more money. But alas, we need to move on from the terrible Trump.
To the wonderful cheese.
To the wonderful cheese, yes.
Yes.
So less looking like a Cheeto and more looking like actual cheese. It is International Cheese Lovers Day.
It is.
Are you a cheese lover, Catherine?
I am.
All right, and you have brought some cheese in for us tonight.
Yeah, so
It's
went
the
to
Geekly
a
Chronicles.
local cheese emporium called the Grumpy Goat. And
I'm just opening up some of this selection.
Ah, yes. Well,
So-
it reminds me of that song, I fed her in a bar down in Old Soho where they eat camembert, but it tastes just like gorgonzola. Is that no?
I'd worry if
wow.
my camembert tasted
That
like
was-
gorgonzola.
They are very different cheeses.
So why don't you talk us through what we've got?
So
Yeah.
that one you've just unwrapped is a sort of a nettle and wild garlic
Ooh,
infused
Nettle.
cheese.
Oh, wow, that sounds good, but stingy.
Yes.
Although nettles shouldn't sting your mouth, we should be good.
You'd think.
Oh, really? So they
yep.
sting skin but not mouth?
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
because you
think,
can have like nettle wine, and you
There's
make
nettle
soup
tea,
with nettles
soup,
and tea
yeah.
and stuff.
How
yeah.
interesting.
I think I might be wrong. I think how the nettle thing works is like when they sting you, little barbs are kind of put on your skin, and them being there is what actually hurts. It's like irritation, and I mean, I guess your mouth just doesn't get irritated because there's different skin.
I have a
and stuff in
question. What kind of cheese would you use to coax a bear down from a tree?
Come on, bear.
Come on, bear!
there. Oh, jeez.
It's fine though. I mean, we
Did
need
you
to.
say cheese or cheese?
I said cheese. We need to sneak our winning word in here somewhere, but
They're subtly done.
yeah.
As ever.
Sneaky.
Keep listening, listeners. Keep listening. But which cheese should you really handle with caution? How do you handle your
Carefully.
cheese? Carefully. Yes.
I've sliced some of this nettle and wild garlic cheese.
let's have a
Do you
taste.
want to have a go on that?
Let's have a taste.
I'll slice you up some, Catherine.
So nettle and
Thank
garlic. I'm gonna go. We've got some on a little cracker here. So I'm gonna nibble.
Yes.
You keep talking.
I kind of have to do that. This is radio after all.
Yeah,
I
I'm,
can't-
I'm
Some way through
unwrapping
this.
the next one while Chris cuts me off a bit of the.
So what's
nettle
that one
and
you've
garlic.
got there?
This is rather tasty, actually. Just nettle and garlic. I can kind of taste the nettle.
Interesting.
I can't really taste the garlic.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever actually had nettle in anything, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect from this cheese, but
You know how a pear tastes?
yes.
Nothing like that.
Interesting.
But you know how a pear tastes kind of grey? This,
you're
this
gonna have to
tastes
explain
kind
that
of
one to me.
dusty, I guess.
Interesting.
It's kind of good, though.
There's some for you, Catherine.
Thank you very much.
This is a blue
The next one you're
cheese.
about to cut up is it's a blue cheese from the Scottish Highlands, I believe.
Straffdon Blue.
So the nettle one's
Says-
not bad. We'll see what you think, Catherine.
I'm going to cut some of the nettle one for me as well, actually.
Give me a bit of the
Oh
blue
yeah, I
on
think
that.
I'm getting the garlic.
On the rest of your...
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just kind of eating the cheese.
Yeah.
The
It's got
garlic's
a weird freshness behind it.
Yeah. Like, I'm eating greens, but I don't really know what greens. Like mystery greens.
This blue cheese is going to, all being well, start to stink up
I think
the
I
studio
quite
a
like
bit.
the nettle and garlic.
Dweeb says, I love that you guys eat and describe food on your radio show. It's true. We are the sole
There you go.
provider of food-based radio.
Yes.
Most people think that you need to see food, but no. The first bite is with the ear.
I've been thrown out of restaurants for doing that. I don't know about either of you.
Bonjella says, love the grumpy goat. Yes, it's very cool. Well, this cheese is really good. Good. Gouda.
Yes, thank you for explaining.
Sorry, that
one
pun was a
for
bit cheesy. May have
You
been
didn't even have to...
may be hard to hear.
Oh, God.
I'll try feta next time.
Please do.
So this
please
is the
do.
blue cheese.
Yes, this is your
wow.
Straffdon Blue.
Wow.
Good, is it?
Now I remember
my
that the next
God.
one has
Do you like a little bit of this, Catherine?
I would love a bit of the blue, yeah.
You kind of forget that Trump exists when you're eating this stuff.
I've not got hands free for the...
There we go. Oh my word, this is strong, but it's creamy. A bit like me, really.
What biscuit would you like it on, Catherine?
Ah.
I really don't care.
Salt and
that
pepper.
one you've got in your hand is excellent.
I can give you a salt and pepper. I can push it onto there for you. That wasn't even a cheese pun.
I can give
That
you
was
a
a
salt and pepper.
fun. Oh yeah. It only gets worse from here, folks. And we've also got Rainbow's Gold Somerset cheese on here.
Oh, that'd be great.
So this one has like a sort of an ale wash, apparently.
Interesting. I can kind of see that in.
So is that your cheese? What kind of cheese is not yours?
Nacho cheese.
Yes.
Right, I'm going in for the Scottish blue cheese.
What does the cheese say to itself when it sees itself in the mirror?
Hello, me.
Hello, me. Hello, me.
Deary me.
Yes. So what's the other
terrible.
cheese we've got there?
This one is I just read it out and now I've lost the label. Rainbows? I think it says rainbows. Rainbow's Gold Somerset cheese.
Ooh.
From Somerset.
Hello, me.
Have you got a biscuit you want?
I've got a bit of cracker left. You might as well whack it on there.
You want this cheese put on? Here's a bit of the
Being
Somerset
economic
Gold.
with my cracker use today.
Yes. In these trying times,
We talk about fascism. We talk about cheese.
It's fallen apart. Your cracker's fallen apart.
Oh dear.
So I'll give it back to you in stages.
That's fine. Yep, fascism, cheese, and music.
Everything in between.
Yeah,
There's
everything in
another
between.
Flake.
Hello, me.
With your thing on.
Hook me up with some of that Rainbow's Gold.
The Rainbow's Gold. I will get that to you.
Stilton on a dark chocolate digestive, says Bonjella. That sounds pretty amazing.
Stilton on a dark chocolate digestive.
Just the thought of a dark chocolate digestive, but then
This
adding
cheese is
Stilton, I mean,
so good.
it's another level.
Can I offer you a particular biscuit, Catherine, or are you happy for?
What?
I'll give you one on one of these Jacob's cracker digestives. I guess these. I think. If
wow.
Actually, give it to me on one of the other
What's
ones.
that one? It was really strong.
Oh, the Somerset Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Somerset Gold is really
There you go.
strong, but it tastes quite beery.
Yeah, well, Catherine was saying there's like an ale wash on this one, so...
Oh, yeah, that's got a stink behind it, hasn't it? It's really good.
Oh,
I think that one must be the one I smelled when I opened the fridge.
Wow. Tweep said it took a couple of the poems over to Discord. Sharing the love.
I'm trying that Somerset Gold now for myself. Ooh, that has got a kick to it, hasn't it?
So this...
Okay, that's amazing.
So,
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
yeah, it's...
Wowza.
I'm very glad that it's International Cheese Lovers Day. Not just because we got to theme our winning word around cheese, but also because we're getting to eat cheese on the show, which, as a lactose intolerant person, I don't get to eat cheese very often, so I'm actually quite enjoying the opportunity to eat a bit of cheese, which is quite nice.
It is fun.
Yeah,
Cheese is fun. I would recommend it to all
Cheese is
those
very
that like to consume cheese. If you're a vegan cheese, it's actually pretty good.
Can you get vegan halloumi?
I don't know, but you can definitely get vegan mozzarella because if you go to, I can't remember which restaurant it is that does it. I think it might be Zizi. They will make you a vegan mozzarella pizza.
Huh.
So you can have a completely vegan pizza
That's
with
pretty clever.
cheese on it. Which it is rather excellent. So that's good.
What's your favourite kind of cheese, Catherine?
This is really difficult because I think it changes.
What's your favourite kind of
Often.
cheese, Chris?
I'm in a similar position to Catherine. I like things like mozzarella and halloumi, but I also love things like cheddar. And I used to like Parmesan, but that's not a vegetarian cheese, so I can't eat it anymore because I am a vegetarian. But they make similar cheeses that they're not allowed to call Parmesan because it's a protected name. But Tesco call theirs vegetarian medium fat hard cheese, which
Vegetarian,
very nice.
medium fat, hard cheese.
yes, which
Catchy.
incidentally is my online dating profile name.
Well, and on that note, we should perhaps move to another song. We've got
Yes.
Game of Geeks coming up. We'll be checking out what you've been up to, voting wise in Would You Fund It, and we'll be seeing if our phone line lights up at any point. But I say that I just refreshed the screen. You know, our phone line is lit up.
Hey.
Interesting.
Okay,
That happens sometimes.
yeah.
I'm also going to have a guess at this being Canadian number? I'm not hugely
Is it
brilliant
Canadian?
at US,
Is it US
area code.
You know what? Shall we bring them onto the show and
Why
see?
not? Let's
Okay.
find out.
Okay, we are about to bring up your fader. Please, be gentle. But hello,
Yes.
who is on the line?
It's Kaylee.
Hello, Kay. That's not a Canadian
I
number.
was wrong about the area
Yes.
code then.
Hello.
I know 702 is Canada.
But the
because one of our
confusing thing
numbers
is that it's all
702.
+1. They're two different countries. Why do they share an area code?
Yeah.
And why does America get to be +1? We're 4-4.
Yes.
Anyway,
I think it's because they invented it. But
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Donald Trump.
indeed, as you should. The cheese board is on top of the mug. But yes, you absolutely should.
Hello, Kaylee. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I realised that I've said this evening, actually. What time is it for you?
Afternoon. It's 1:42.
1:42 in the afternoon. I enjoy the idea that it could still be afternoon somewhere. Because at
Lunchtime.
afternoon, yes, I could be eating cheese. I mean, I am, but I could be eating more
I just
cheese.
had to go up to the kitchen and get cheese because you guys were making me hungry.
I'm so sorry. I'm
not
really.
sorry at all.
No, this is a service we provide.
Yes.
So, are you calling about the winning word?
Yeah.
When did?
Halloumi,
Yes, when did you hear it?
when you were telling cheese jokes.
Yes, my
Quite right.
cheesy puns. Yeah. So, what was? Can you tell us back the cheese joke?
Or
what the-
improve it.
Yeah. Do you have a cheese
I don't
joke?
think I can improve upon it. No. But what does the cheese say when it sees itself in the mirror? Halloumi.
Halloumi.
Yeah.
The one thing about cheese that I never really got is that we say Gouda here in the UK to pronounce that type of cheese. You're looking at me funny. You say Gouda, right?
I say Gouda.
But Americans say Gouda. I've always said Gouda.
I
Maybe
hear
that's just
Gouda
you.
here.
It's definitely Gouda in the US. What would you have said, Chris?
Everyone I've ever asked has said Gouda.
Yeah.
It's not the name of a cheese I've ever had to say before today, so I don't think I have a personal...
My family have always said Gouda. We were big Gouda fans.
I've now lost all sense of meaning of the word. And I'm wondering
Gouda.
if I say either of them.
But so a
Or
lot
if
of
I just
these,
say carrot.
a lot of those puns
Let's
work
compromise
if you
and go
say
Gouda.
Gouda, but some of them don't work if you say Gouda. Like I've had a Gouda day, but if you say Gouda, then it works because it sounds more like good. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Congratulations, Kaylee! You've won this week's winning word competition. Woo!
Yay!
You win the book, you win some merch, and you know what? We might throw in some cheese. Although if we're posting it to the US, actually customs laws may prevent that.
That's
That
illegal.
might be a bad
We
idea.
can't. Yeah, we'll send you a picture of some cheese. How's
Yes.
that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Great. We will send you pictures of the cheese. We'll ask the cheese to sign the pictures and
See how well that goes
see how
for
well
us.
it goes.
Just
Yeah,
some greasy marks, really.
greasy marks and
I am going to take a photo of the cheese board right now for you, though.
Excellent.
Thank
Is there
you.
It's all half eaten.
is there anything that you would like to say to contribute to our Planned Parenthood campaign this evening?
I did not vote for Trump.
There we go. That's one
An
there.
extra pound in the mug.
Get that out of the way.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming on and calling in. We really appreciate it. Yes, congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that is, there we go. We've got the winning word out of the way right now.
It's the Geekly Chronicles. Oh, wait, it's exactly like a quiz show.
That it is.
I'm still eating cheese.
Still cheesing it.
I've still got the taste of that, the Somerset Gold in my mouth.
Me
It's
too, me
still-
too.
It's a very potent cheese.
The
Now,
water won't let it go away.
it is Game of Geeks time, which is the quiz in which I ask Kez and Catherine some questions about films and TV shows and books and pop culture stuff, and see if they can get the answers on the first, second, or third clue, which I'll score them 3, 2, or 1 points respectively. Now, mathematically speaking, it is literally impossible for Kez to win the series at this stage,
Boo.
being on 2 shows to Catherine's 5. However, it's the individual victories that make this quiz worth playing, so let's see if we can't make the defeat slightly less embarrassing. But of course, to do that, we will need buzzers. So, this week, Kez goes... Kez hasn't turned up my fader.
There we go.
Kez goes...
Eugene Cheform.
You change your four.
And Catherine goes...
Dermak. And Jalad. At Tanagra.
Ah.
Yes.
Nice Jean-Luc Picard reference there as Sir Pat Stew is now Sir Pat Poo.
Indeed. But let's get straight on with round number 1. And this is a TV series.
Okay.
So, fingers on buzzers. This 2015 sitcom was created by Tina Fey and Robert Carlock and stars Ellie Kemper.
Who?
Ellie Kemper.
What year was this?
2015.
Nope.
Next.
Okay, moving on to the next clue. Originally pitched to NBC, this show was sold to Netflix and given a 2-season order and was renewed for a 3rd season in January 2016.
Nope.
What did you say the genre in the first
I said
clue?
sitcom. Okay.
Denmark.
I was just going to have a guess.
Catherine?
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
It's not Crazy
No?
Ex-Girlfriend, I'm afraid. So I will move on to the 3rd clue. The series follows Ellie Kemper's character as she adjusts to life in New York City after her rescue from a doomsday cult in Indiana.
Nope. I have literally no idea.
Catherine, you don't look like you've...
No, I'm
I preferred Game of Geeks when we knew the answer.
mentally scrolling through Netflix.
No.
Well, Dweeb in the chat room is going, I know. So do go ahead and mention it. But the answer I was looking for was... I'm wondering how long the delay is to see if Dweeb can get it. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Correct, Dweeb. Well done.
I've never heard of it.
Is
not heard of it.
the show I was looking for there. So
Well
no
done,
points in
Dweeb.
that round, I'm afraid. But well done, Dweeb, for getting that one. This next question is a film. And this film, this 2014 American satirical black comedy drama film, was directed by Alejandro González Iñárritu, and it won the Best Picture Academy Award.
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to clue number 2. It stars Michael Keaton, who is supported in the film by Edward Norton, Andrea Riseborough, Emma Stone, and Naomi Watts. In that 2014 Best Picture Oscar winner.
We are so informed.
I think we need to make these questions more us.
Or just, pay attention to things. Clue number 3. It follows Regan Thompson, played by Keaton, a faded Hollywood actor best known for playing a superhero, whose name is the title of the film.
Birdman.
Is the right answer. Coming in on the 3rd clue. Catherine, you score 1 point. Would you like to gamble that 1 point with a bonus question for double or nothing?
No, I'm going to stick.
Play it safe.
I'm gonna
Alrighty
play
then.
it safe.
We will move on to the next question, and that is another TV series.
Okay.
So, fingers on buzzers. This American romantic comedy television series was produced by HBO between 1998 and 2004.
Eugene Cheform.
Kaz?
Dawson's Creek.
Is the wrong answer, I'm afraid.
Denmark.
Sex and the City.
Is the right answer.
I thought that was earlier, but I was like, maybe it was.
No, it was, in fact, 1998 to
I've
2004.
Never seen it.
You might have got it from the other clues. It's based on the 1997 book of the same name. So,
Nope. Still
there
wouldn't
you
know.
go. All
I
right,
wasn't reading books like that in 1997.
let's move swiftly on then to another film. This 2014 British historical comedy drama film was written by Stephen Beresford and directed by Matthew Warchus.
I don't even know who they are.
British historical comedy drama
Yep,
film.
2014.
Well,
Nope.
Okay, clue number 2. It stars Ben Schnetzer, Dominic West, Andrew Scott, Imelda Staunton, Bill Nighy, Paddy Considine, and a number of other stars.
I had only heard of 2 of those people.
yeah, me too.
Okay, next.
Okay then. Based on a true story, the film, please get it on this clue. Based on a true story, the film depicts a group of lesbian and gay activists who raised money to help families affected by the British miners' strike in
I know the
1984.
story, but I don't know the name of the film.
Denmark.
Is
Catherine,
it called Pride?
it is called Pride,
Ah.
and it's at the outset of what would become the lesbians and gays support the miners movement.
Right.
Coming
I
in
didn't
after
see
3
it.
clues, you get 1 point. Would you like to gamble that?
Nah.
All right, playing it safe with currently 5 points to 0.
Keep hoarding my points.
Is that it now? Is this over?
Well, you mathematically cannot win even if you get the next question right. So I can give you another question if you want.
I'm going to have another bit of cheese.
But Catherine's going for the cheese, so I would say the winner is pretty clear on this one.
All right, okay, let's get Hattie in.
This week's winner is... Catherine.
Well done.
Hey.
Again.
That puts you
Go me.
on 6 shows to 2. So, yeah, well done. And I can reveal exclusively that next episode's Game of Geeks will be an extra special end-of-series game. So come prepared for a quiz, the likes of which Geekly has never seen before.
Now, on the show tonight, we have been raising money for Planned Parenthood. We've been doing it in a roundabout way. Every time I've said the word Trump, or any of our guests have said the word Trump, we have been putting coins in a pot. And we have now raised...
£108.
Only £108. I think we can do better than that. So we need to fill the end of the show with trumping.
Indeed.
And trumping of all varieties. Now, a little while ago, we wrote a song here on the show about Donald Trump. And people have requested Nelly the Elephant in the chat room because it has the word Trump in it a lot. But actually, my version has more. So let's give this a listen. It's 1 minute and 56 seconds of trumping, but the song is also available on Bandcamp, so we'll tweet out the link. Yeah. And if you buy the song on Bandcamp for £1, we will add another £1. We will add to that £1.
It's the Geekly Chronicles.
Well, yes, indeed. There were a few trumps there. What are we on now?
Never have I played the pot of change quite so rhythmically. But
don't forget that Trump that Kaz just said.
Oh, yeah.
And that one that I just said.
Yeah, that puts us on £132.
We can do better than that before the end of the show. And we've only got a minute left. Let's check in on Would You Fund It?
Let's do this very, very quickly. But it looks like the audience tonight have voted to fund the pop-up apocalypse shelter.
Which will help in Trump times.
It will indeed. Oh, jeez.
Absolutely.
That's 88% of people.
So a huge thanks to everyone that's donated over the course of tonight. That's been brilliant. Thanks again to our guest, Ryan Braun, for coming on the show.
Indeed.
Thanks, Catherine, for all the cheese.
Yes. My pleasure. Love me some cheese.
Well, absolutely. And we'll trump out to the outro. But for now, from me, Kez.
From me, Chris.
And from me, Catherine.
We wish you a very merry Trump. Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Geekly Chronicles. Content was researched and vaguely fudged together by Chris, Catherine and Kez, who are also your hosts for this evening's show. The Geekly Chronicles is a tiny kettle production. Any reference to any persons or things living or dead was probably in error. What is reality anyway? Don't take the blue pill, live long and prosper, wear sunscreen.
Trump, 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 Trump. Oh, this is starting to sound a bit like a Raj. Boo, Trump. We don't like Trump. Let's just throw some money in. It's all for a good cause.